Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today, if you can't tell from the fan service alone, we're going to be reviewing Sekirei. And this, by the way, is including Season 1 and Season 2 in the review. Now, I start off by telling people right away that I will say I don't like something. I'll be like, oh, I don't like this show. I don't like that. I don't like this, whatever. And I noticed a response from most people in the anime community, or even my friends or anything. Oh my god, that must mean you rate it as horrible. You must think it's the worst thing ever. I'm like, no, Then they're almost surprised when I actually do a review on here or anything else that I used to do reviews on, and go, wait a second, you gave it a decent score? What? But I thought you didn't like it. Listen, subjective and actual concepts of reviewing things is the concept that you review something by a non-biased method. To me at least, when you review anything, it doesn't matter if it's movies, anime, video games, books, whatever you want to look at. When you review it, you're supposed to have this, kind of unbiased concept towards it. Now, I'm not saying that you're always going to be unbiased, because here's the bottom line: when you watch something or when you review something, you are going to have bias in it. It's not uncommon. Of course, it's something that is embedded to everyone. You see something, you might like it, you might not. Now, the thing of the day, though, is that when you review something, though, you have to remember that you have to leave that kind of bias somewhere deeper inside of you and let come forth the actual concepts that make the show what it is. Is the show good? Does it do everything right? Entertainment-wise, yeah, maybe I didn't like it, but that does not mean by any standards that the show is bad. It just means that I personally did like it. And I will review Sekirei just like that, and I will kind of put to an end, hopefully, all the concept. What, you didn't like this show? Oh my god, you're crazy. What? No, it's just, listen. So Sekirei stars our main character Minato, who's a 19-year-old kid who's actually very, very smart. He's actually considered a genius in his friends and family. The problem of the day, though, is he performs very, very badly in kind of die-hard situations of where you have to then do something. It's like, oh no. And like, so example, when you take a test and right away you start crumbling under the pressure, that's Minato. He starts crumbling under the pressure and thus has failed his college entrance exams multiple times. And he's kind of at this impasse of not knowing what he's going to do with his life, because he can't go to college right now. He's trying to get into college and having all these issues going against him. When suddenly, a girl falls from the sky and lands on top of him. And he learns that this girl is part of a program called Sekirei, which are essentially a giant kind of battle arena of multiple girls, 108 to be exact, where they are trying to fight for dominance. Only one of them should actually remain technically by the end of this actual fight. And of course, our main character has a special ability where he can kiss her and give her a power boost and energy, which she needs to be able to fight. So thus, they end up becoming a partnership, and they have to go then fight against other Sekirei to get that kind of top spot. Now, Sekirei Season 1 is all about, introducing the characters. You're going to meet all the different girls of it, from loli to very big boobs aside. I mean, like, every single girl on the show beside the one loli you can see on screen, all of them have huge boobs. I think there's one girl that's flat-chested in this whole show, and I don't even think she's here on this image right now. She's supposed to be, but she's one of the characters, but she's not. But for the most part, all the characters are, your typical anime style of big boobs in a kind of battle arena type thing, almost similar to Iki Tosen, which I'm also not a huge fan of. And it's not like, oh, you're not a fan of huge boobs. No, listen, I'm a guy, But the thing of the day is that, anime tropes aside, it's a usual anime trope that kind of I'm tired of seeing all the time, and I was tired of seeing that at this point. But what's funny about Sekirei is that there are two things that I feel are good about it. One is I like the animation. I think the animation is very good. I think all the characters look really cool, diverse, and I like the style of it despite its, overuse of the big boob concept. I also like the battles. I think Sekirei really has some stellar battles. I love the actual fights between the various characters, and I'm not going to spoil those. Season 1 has a lot of fights. Season 2 has a lot better fights. I think Season 2 overall is a lot stronger than Season 1, but Season 1 is kind of more so comedy. Season 2 is a little bit of comedy, of course, a little more serious at times, but it's a nice blend of the two, almost similar to actually, no, actually almost similar to Iki Tosen, because Iki Tosen does something very similar with its multiple seasons. It actually goes from a comedy first and foremost, then action, comedy, action, and then Season 2 is a little bit more action, comedy, action. It reverses the roles a little bit, but that's how it is. And, Sekirei kind of follows that trope a little bit. Now, I tell people I don't like Sekirei because the other concept of it is we have again a useless main character who, I know he gives, the girl's energy and people are going, well, that's a very important power. He's meant to be the one that's like that. Well, I get that, but that still doesn't make me like him per se, if that makes any sense. It's to me still a kind of useless ability. But I also don't like the kind of tropes this thing settles on. It really has too many tropes for its own good. We have the typical, oh, this girl is retarded because she's like this. This girl is super tsundere. This girl is super violent. It relies a lot on those character tropes, and every single girl kind of embodies that. And I kind of get annoyed by that. And I was getting annoyed when this came out already for that reason. But Sekirei is not bad. It has some good humor. It's funny when it has to be. I like, again, the animation. I think the animation is good, aside from the tropes that it uses, of course. And, it's not a horrible show. It's not like I'm saying the show's an F or anything, or even a C. If I had to review Sekirei, given that everything works for it, I have to give it a solid B-. That's including my own bias, because I really didn't enjoy Sekirei that much. But the thing about Sekirei is that it has a lot of things that do work for it. There are good concepts to it. There are cool characters. There are cool fights. The animation gets not too bad. The voice acting is actually pretty good, both, dubbed and actually subbed, so you can choose either one and actually like it. But, honestly, it's just not my cup of tea. I've never been a huge fan of the series. I've never been a kind of fan of this kind of genre of these action, fighting girl type things. Like Iki Tosen, I said I wasn't a huge fan. And I do plan on reviewing Iki Tosen the first season. I never watched after the first season, so I can't really go into that. I will say right now, I think it's slightly worse than Iki Tosen. I think Iki Tosen is a little bit better, going more to the B range. But I think Iki Tosen wasn't that great also for many reasons, and I'll go into that when I do the review of it. But I just want you guys and girls to know that this is my review style. I always take in the fact that if I enjoyed it, I will review it in the sense that I enjoyed it. I tell you guys right now, I didn't enjoy, Sekirei. I really wasn't a huge fan of this. But I have to abide by the fact that this show's not bad. It does a lot of things right. It's fun to watch. I could understand why people might like it, of course. And it's not anything per se wrong with it. It's just me as a person watching it, I wasn't a fan of this at the time. Now, maybe I'll rewatch it and I'll maybe enjoy it a little bit more now. I really saw it not that long ago. I still didn't really enjoy it, so I don't think that's going to change. But, with Heaven's Lost Property, which is another thing I plan on releasing if I didn't release it already, it was another show that as I got older, I enjoyed it more because I focused less on the concepts I was getting tired of back when it came out and more of the comedy, and I liked it a lot more now. This is not one of those. I probably won't enjoy it now, if that makes any sense, but I still say that this is not bad. It's not bashing me saying, oh, I hate these type of shows and all that. Listen, I don't hate it. I just didn't like it. Simple as that. Anyways, guys and girls, if you agree with me, put it in the comments below. I'm curious. I want to hear your thoughts on it. I hope you like the fan service, because you got to stare at these girls for like the whole, 8 minutes and something seconds that this is going on for. As always, guys, feel free to hit that subscribe button, like button, the whole comment sharing thing, the whole thing. And as always, until the paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.